Ian, it's time to check in with Dr. Joe Schwarcz. He's host of the Dr. Joe Show here on CJAD, Sundays at 3. And, of course, he's director of the McGill Office for Science and Society. And, Joe, a couple of stories today. Can I begin with this one because I've not seen this term anywhere else? Popcorn lung. What is that about?
Yeah, it's a very interesting condition. It goes back to the early 2000s when some physicians in Missouri started to see something unusual. There were young men, otherwise very healthy, who were working in a microwave popcorn plant. And they were developing this rare but serious lung disease that the doctors hadn't seen before, except in lung transplant patients. These guys were short of breath, they had a dry cough, and had very poor lung function tests. So, of course, they investigated to see what was going on here, and it turned out that they were having a reaction to a substance that they were inhaling while they were making the buttered microwave popcorn. This is a very, very popular item, as you know. I mean, people will sit at home watching TV at night and guzzle this microwave popcorn. Now, to make sure that people don't misunderstand this, the problem was the inhalation of this butter flavoring, which contained a chemical called diacetyl. And when they were manufacturing this popcorn on a very large scale, this stuff was being heated and it was being absorbed into the popcorn. There is no problem in eating diacetyl. We eat it all the time. It is naturally present in butter. However, when it was heated to a high temperature so that it was in the air, these guys, who were, of course, working in an environment 8 hours a day, were inhaling it. And this is what caused the problem, and it came to be known as popcorn lung, because it originally was seen in workers in this popcorn factory, which, of course, was picked up by the media, and people misunderstood. They thought that eating the microwave popcorn would be a potential cause of this disease.
Let's lay that fear to rest. You can eat popcorn to your heart's delight. You have nothing to worry about.
Certainly not.
Okay.
But if you were working in a popcorn factory where they are making microwave butter popcorn, different issue. However, since that time, they have instituted all kinds of filtering equipment, so the air there is clean as well.
So for anyone about to throw out their popcorn, no, you can take it back. You don't have to worry.
Absolutely.
All right. And then you have a story today on bacteria, specific bacteria that may boost brain health. What's this about?
Yeah, this is very interesting. I mean, this is something we've chatted about over the years, about the benefits of having the right kind of in our gut. We used to believe that the bacteria that populate our gut, which outnumber human cells, so we are largely bacterial cells, and we thought that these are just sort of bystanders, in our digestive tract. But now we know that that's not the case. Our body interacts with these microbes, and this is an absolutely fascinating new study where they sampled human gut bacteria in 39 countries from volunteers, and they collected about 11,000 samples. They looked at the diseases that these people had, many of whom, of course, had no disease, who were just healthy people. So they were able to compare people who were suffering from various diseases to healthy people in terms of the gut bacteria that they had. And the finding is absolutely amazing. They found one species of bacteria that for now they had just codenamed as CJAD 170, which were far more prevalent in people who had various kinds of illnesses, whether it was irritable bowel syndrome or rheumatoid arthritis or even heart disease. So the question now, of course, is whether or not we can do something practical with this study. Is there any way that we can kind of change the bacterial composition in our gut in favor of the bacteria that are linked to health. So this, of course, would be the next step. And it's not a new idea because the whole concept of probiotics works on this. People eat yogurt and sauerkraut and these fermented foods, hoping to get the right kind of bacteria. But so far, the number of bacteria that really we've been working with that are put into yogurt and are put into probiotic supplements are very few in comparison to the 4,600 species of bacteria that are present in our gut, many of which have not even been yet identified. So now we are on the verge of being able to identify specifically which bacteria in the gut are conducive to health, which opens the door to improving the probiotics that are on the market now. And, the probiotics on the market now, like Activia, which are marketed to people who have gut problems, right, they contain very few bacteria. Now, they may be beneficial, but now we know that there are far more. This species that they now isolated is there's about 300 different specific bacteria in this species. So it's a big step forward, actually, in understanding how our gut interacts with the body, which is, all of this is really evolving over the last 2 or 3 decades. Before that, bacteria in the body were just thought of as being something bad, causing disease. But now we know that they are a very important player in maintaining our health.
Okay. And by the way, once we're talking about this, I heard another clip this morning, which we ran on our news, talking about someone else suggesting variety. And I know we've talked about this before, is still one of the key things. Even if you're eating, things that are good for you, the more variety, the better. That fair to say?
I think that is true.
Okay.
And a lot of that, again, relates to the bacterial composition of the gut. Because what we are really doing with our diet is also feeding the bacteria in our gut. Because what they really eat is what isn't absorbed into our bloodstream. And that is what we refer to as fiber, right? Fiber is the component of food that we cannot digest. So it goes through to the colon, and that's where bacteria eat it. And they also poop out some of the components that they eat. And it may be that it is that bacterial poop that is responsible for some of the health benefits. So, for now, sure, we should be eating our fermented foods or drinking our kefir and eating our yogurt. But the real hope is that we'll be able to concoct much more specific beverages and foods, or perhaps just capsules, which contain the bacteria that are going to be conducive to good health.
Interesting. We'll leave it at that. Joe, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Aaron.
I'm Dylan Playfair.
And I'm Tyler Smith.
We're putting loneliness in the penalty box by talking to some of our favorite athletes about the importance of friendship.
This is Bromance.
Bromance is brought to you by Charm Diamond Centers, proudly Canadian-owned and operated. Charm has been part of your love stories and bromances for over 50 years.
And you can find Bromance on the iHeartRadio network or wherever you get your podcasts.